Alrighty, we got another drywall patch today. This one is around a shower that this really nice guy has put in. I've done tons of work at this house. He remodeled the whole thing. Floors, took out walls, did ceiling cracks for him, everything. But here's the repair. Gonna be patching this up, putting some mesh tape on here, smoothing it out, and texturing it to match. This one was $350, took me about an hour. Now right here is a patch I did before. As you can tell, pretty good match. I mean, it was pretty hard to tell. I mean, you got that light shining on it too. So for all you haters out there, there you go. So that was done with a red tail pump gun also, which I know I've been getting a lot of questions about. So in this video, I will be slowing everything down just a little bit so you can kind of see more of the process of how I do this. But first and foremost, you want to get that tape and plastic down. Don't want to be getting mud on the shower. Don't want to be getting mud on the trim. Don't want to be getting mud on the floor. Only place you want to be getting mud is on that wall. Now this is the plastic I love to get. This is a Dunn Edwards. You know, when I lived in Texas, they didn't have Dunn Edwards, so if you don't have it, oh well. But this is the best one that I like. It's in a small box. It's a 0.05 mil. So it's not super thick, but it's not as light as that, you know, trash bag painter's plastic. So it works pretty good for these scenarios. And the box is small, so it fits in the truck right. Doesn't take up a lot of space like that big Husky roll. And I get it for about $19 at Dunn Edwards. Shout out to Dunn Edwards. Now, because this is a spray texture, not my, you know, skip that I've had in the last couple of videos, I'm going to be masking off a little bit more than usual. But having that red tail pump gun, it does save me on some. If I had the hopper out, I'd have to be plasticking off, you know, the whole ceiling, the window, all that stuff. So let's get ready. Oh, and I gotta say, this little ladder right here, man, I love this thing. I've probably have had it stolen 3 times out of the back of my truck, but this is just perfect. Being 6'2" with long arms, I can reach all kinds of stuff with this. So you want to get that mesh tape on, half and half. So what I'm saying is half on that orange board stuff and half on the wall, right, and make the crack right in the middle. And I didn't really need mesh tape right here because that is some kind of tape that they have on there already, but I've noticed over the years that putting the mesh tape on, like in this scenario, helps the mud adhere better to the wall and slick it out. Sometimes when I put it over some kind of tape or another substance, it doesn't tend to like connect as well, dry as well. So did it anyways. It's not gonna hurt anything, but it'll make my life a little bit easier. Now in these repairs, I've said it before, but these little buckets, again, Dunn Edwards buckets, but I know they sell these, you know, all over the place. But these little buckets, I like it a lot better than having the big 5-gallon bucket like you see in the background. I just get new water in every single job, because I do a lot of these small ones like this. Just get water in there so it's fresh. You can mix up that 5-minute, which helps it, you know, last a little bit longer when you have clean water. I think a mistake a lot of people do when they're using the 5-minute is they keep the same water for multiple jobs or multiple days. And once that water gets dirty, you're basically that water turns into 5-minute water. So you're mixing that 5-minute water with 5-minute, it dries this stuff quick. Especially this easy sand. I know someone in the comments asking if I use this. This was the 5-minute that I used to use a lot when I lived in Texas, because they did not have Westpac, which is that like green bag you see in the background. It works fine. It just, to me, this easy sand dries. It dries a little bit quicker, and it has a lot of reaction on paint for some reason. That's what I've noticed quite a bit of. So you want to get your mud on, and what we're trying to do here is cover that orange board, leave some on the tape, and float it out enough to where it kind of, has a nice gradual level from the board onto the wall, because this was sticking out just a little bit past the existing wall. But being that the mud is butting up to the shower, you could take it out a little bit and it'll just be a gradual transition. Should look fine. So, and I'm trying not to get a bunch of mud all gooped up in the corner of the tape. So when you see me pulling it left to right instead of up and down, that's what I'm doing. Because when you pull that tape off, it's gonna flake off a lot of that mud. It's gonna turn into like crusties and get all over your texture and whatnot. So here we go. It's pretty much first coat right here. Like I said before, I try to leave enough on these little ones where sometimes at one go is fine, is good enough. And right here, being that my 6-inch knife fits good, I'm just gonna coat this whole thing out, this whole section, skim it all out, texture it, and that way, there's no chance of them telling that there was a patch here, because it's all smoothed out, it's all the same texture. If you're going into this, something like this, and just using like a 4-inch knife and just gonna texture that right side only, to me that's a mistake. You might as well just do the whole thing, especially when it's something like this. So I'm basically just gonna be skimming this side out, just enough to cover that tape. This one, since I am slowing it down, I'll be putting chapters in here so you can, move around wherever you want to. Check it out. If this is starting to bore you, just move on down the road. Move to the second coat. Move to the texture phase. It's up to you. But on this, I'm really trying to do one on this side because it should be pretty easy to do as long as the mud doesn't react. Let me know in the comments. Is this something you guys use 5-minute on? I know I got a lot of 20-minute people up in here, but let me know. And always clean out your pan. To me, always clean it out inside. Leave it on the plastic. Leave the mess on the plastic. Especially on small jobs. You don't want to be having to clean up, 2 different areas. A lot of guys will take it outside, start scraping it on their truck or into a box or a trash bag, but then you're leaving crumbs everywhere. To me, it doesn't make sense. And wash your tools right away. I'm sure as you know, this 5-minute dries up quick. And even though I clean my pan like this all the time, I still got a bunch of white crap everywhere. This just dries up. Just happens over time. Don't worry about it. First thing you want to do with this 5-minute, check it out. Touch it. See how if it's reacting at all, if it's starting to crumble on you. This one was pretty good, so I just went straight ahead and started sponging the edges. Gotta do these edges first, because you're trying to blend it in. So if you leave a fat edge there, like down below, when you shoot texture on it, it might look good, but you're gonna paint it, you're gonna see that edge. This texture does not hide edges. I tell guys that work for me, I have one working for me right now. I tries to sometimes texture the edges up. I gotta tell him, hey man, come on now. The texture ain't gonna cover those edges. Shoot. So right here, just scraping down the highs. I'm barely applying pressure, by the way. So I know some guys watch this and they are kind of wondering why I'm doing it so quickly. But sometimes when you come in, if you wait too long and you come in here, I think it does tend to crumble and react on you more than if you just have a very light hand and you're wetting it, you're adding some moisture to it, you're scraping it down nicely, very light touches, just trying to smooth it out and add like the extra mud you see in my knife, just add some on the wall where I need to, because again, trying to get in and get out but make it look good. Time is money, so why waste more time? Now this one, I'm just gonna sponge it on down. Just smooth it out. And you can just kind of scrape down the highs where you need to. But I am glad I put this tape on there. I could tell, you kind of see how you could see some of the knockdown texture showing through on the left but not the right. It was just adhering better on the right side because of that tape. And you gotta sponge your edges. And like I said, don't forget that step. And there you go. That's the first coat. We're gonna roll. Now that sponge I've been using, that's pretty much what I've been using for years. I just get that sponge, load it up with water, one full sponge in the pan. That's it, one full sponge in the pan, and it gives me a pretty good pan. I mean, if you do two sponges, it's in this small of a pan, it's gonna overflow it. But one sponge of that tile sponge, it seems to be like the perfect one, the perfect pan size. So now the second coat, I'm gliding over it. I'm filling in where I think, the transition might be a little too big. So I'm putting some mud in there just to fill it in, make it nice. But it's going good. It's going smooth. We're only about 15 minutes into this job, 20 minutes at this point. You should always be moving, and you got to keep in mind when you watch these, I don't work for somebody, so I'm my own boss. I like to get in, get out, don't waste time. I don't even sit down and eat lunch, actually. I just kind of eat while I'm working, take little bites here and there, keep it moving. This one just needed a nice little pass on it. I probably could have got away with shooting texture on it, but like I said before, if you're there, I got the extra mud in my hand. Why not smooth it out? Make it look the best you can before you texture, not just count on the texture to hide everything. Also, I want to thank everyone for the comments and the subscribes and everything. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's cool reading some of these. Not the ones talking crap, but everyone else that's saying some cool stuff. I appreciate it. I hope you learned something from these. As always, you got any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments. Here's the red tail. Here we go. So you're gonna twist that tip to adjust for the size. Now, I've been using this gun for a long time, so I know pretty much right away. And I grew up doing this knockdown texture, so you know, I know when I adjust that size and I start spraying it on the plastic to test it out, I knew that was it. So the biggest thing about using this gun is just to keep that pump flowing. Just keep flowing. A consistent, same pump throughout the whole thing, the whole time. If you stop, it's gonna start to get fatter as the mud comes out of the tip. So you want to just keep going, pump. It does get a little tiring, but you know, come on, you can do it. It beats bumping out that hopper and the compressor and the hose and having the plastic off the ceiling, the wall. And look at that. You never know. That was just from a pump gun. And one of the cool things about this pump gun too is that you can just leave the texture in there. I pretty much keep this thing full all the time. I never really clean it unless it gets clogged up. So if you don't strain your mud and you put your all-purpose in here or your topping compound and there's little chunks in there, it will clog it up. So just be aware of that, but it's an easy fix. You just untwist that canister and clean it out. And there you go. Look at that texture. Even, it's the same size. Look at that overspray too. Barely any overspray, which is perfect for these knockdown patches. I hate the overspray from a hopper, and I feel bad for the customer because if they're painting it, I gotta tell them, you know, you gotta do a light sand after it dries, because I'm not coming back for a second trip just to sand the overspray, because that's basically, I would say, part of a paint prep. So, and here we go for knocking it down. This is just my little test run here. I'm going very light, but as you can see, that's pretty damn good. So I decided to let it sit just a little bit more. I'm gonna hit those edges first. Like I was telling you before, I want to get it away from the tape, so when I pull that tape, there's not a bunch of crap falling on it. So you're knocking it down, you're rolling smooth over it. I'm barely holding that 6. I have knockdown knives. I have a what's it called, that weather stripping from the garage doors to knock down too, but I've used this 6 for so long, just knocking down patches. It works, and since it's smaller, you can kind of, you know, glide with it, groove with it however you need to. So if you have like a hump in the wall or something, it's not gonna drastically ruin it. But there you go. Look at that texture match. That's pretty damn good. Don't be hating in the comments now. If you do, just send me a video of your texture match. That's what I want to see. Now you're pretty much knocking down in one direction. If you see me going left to right, I am then going to take it up to match the flow of the other texture. Then you want to go around, try to get some of that overspray off, which is very minimal because of the red tail. And then pull that tape, because you're good. That's a wrap. Looks beautiful. Now we're moving to this side. Just going up and down, knocking it down. That's why they call it the knockdown. If you didn't knock it down, it'd be a splatter, just some ugly orange peel. And that's it. Look how beautiful that is. The importance of tape and plastic right here. Just get to roll it up, pull the tape, roll it up. stepped in the mud a little bit, so I'll wipe that up. Don't stress. Comes right up, not like paint. These clothes, these pants, my black sweatshirt I'm wearing, it has been covered in drywall mud before, and it comes right off. That's the best thing I like about this trade. There we go. Look at that. Shoot. I slowed it down for y'all so you can check it out. That should be fine. Now wiping up these spots, and then we're good. If you want to stay around for a second, I'm getting the customer. He's gonna see the job, tell him how much it costs. But if not, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. That's yeah. Let's go check it out.
More random filament that arrived yesterday. It's been a fun little hobby. Damn, look at that. Dude, as always, you're a freaking rock star.
Yeah, I just did this whole part right here.
Sure.
That way there's no room for, and this is like, that's pretty much spot on. So
gorgeous.
once you do that light sand right there, you should good to go.
Oh man, I'm stoked. I'm super stoked. That's gonna look freaking, like this looks already awesome.
No, that looks super good. So same thing as last time, very light sand on the side of it, prime it, and you're good to go.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent, man. I was gonna say, I guess I'm so used to us randomly having to do massive
I know.
parts of the house that I was like, oh, this is much quicker as we went through. So.
Yeah, and the mud.
There, and there won't be work. Do you want liquid death, by the way, for the road?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Appreciate it.
Good. That's all I got.
Yeah, I never tried that one. This one is?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Just because
Appreciate it.
a little bit of,
Heck yeah.
and that, but
Thank you.
seriously, man, thank you.
Yeah.
What's the, I'll tell you. What's
$350 total.
We got it.
Yep.
And thank you again with paint, by the way. That's
Oh, were you getting it under the count?
Yeah, I did
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
much
a
savings.
yeah, because you get the
cashmere.
cashmere. Yep. Yeah.
And so just picked up